So you want a report that shows who has clearance for the fourth floor stairwell doors, correct?
Yes, for
Okay.
the stairwell access. Yeah, and this
Okay.
would be the same for um, like all other reports too, right? Like I could do it for certain readers.
Yep. Yeah. Easy enough. Um, Give me just a sec here. I want to list the doors. So I'm going to go hardware category, I start door, and just get a look. Okay, we got two fourth floor stairwell doors. Um, the easiest way to do this, if you pick a particular door and you right click, um, we go down to view and associations. This will show me what all clearances, anything associated with that door. So the only thing that comes up is there's one clearance. So that must mean you just have this one clearance that the doors are in. So now, if we want to see what is associated with this clearance, um, we can right click the clearance and do associations again. And now we can see there's 46 people who have that clearance. So if
Yeah,
we double click there, we get a nice little list here of everybody who's got. We can sort it by the name, so it's alphabetical.
gotcha.
Um, and then we can export this list with this little button right here. This We'll put it into a spreadsheet format. I don't know if we have Excel on here to be able to view it, but let's just name this report. What was
Yeah, I
this?
don't know if we have Excel on here.
But you can send this to people then later. Let's see.
So when I send it to somebody, how would I? I mean, I guess you're going to show me now. So we save it under file name.
Yeah, let's put it somewhere where we're gonna find it here. We'll go PTI and make like a reports folder here. Okay, so I'm gonna open File Explorer and I saved it under the D drive, PTI and reports. So if I double click it, okay, oh, you do have Excel on here. Oh, you probably don't have it activated. Okay. So there, you'd have to activate your license to be able to use Excel. But
Okay,
you could just send this to them and hopefully they have Excel and can view it. But that
gotcha. Now, how would I email that to them or to somebody?
do you? Let's see. You probably don't have email set up on here, do you? Um,
Yeah, we do not.
what do you have an email account like a Google email?
I do, but what's it called? CMIT locked Google out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's why we can't even use Google like on the computers that they issue us.
hmm. Let's see here. What if you don't happen to have a Yahoo email account? Do you? Do you?
I do.
Okay. Hopefully, you know your password and can sign in to it.
Yeah. Here, let me type that in real quick. Username, just my email.
I am recording, so don't hit the expose button. Okay, you can save it on here for ease sake if you'd like or not. It's up to you.
Uh, text.
So to do that report again, we highlight the door in question, we right click, we can go to view associations, and there's only one clearance. Now, some of these doors might have more than one clearance associated with it, so that gets a little more complicated. Um,
Right, because that's like if they have like master access or if it's just fourth floor clearance, right?
yeah,
Okay.
like let's see, let's check another and find one that has multiple. Yeah, this guy has two clearances. So yeah, this is a little more difficult when we don't have a working copy of Excel on here,
Gotcha.
because then you'd have to send them two reports. If we had Excel on here, you could just combine them in a spreadsheet. Um,
Gotcha. I'll tell Sarah about getting that activated on here.
yeah, let them know it would help you out if you had Excel on here, and probably just the whole Microsoft suite, because then you could have uh, email. You wouldn't have to do that Yahoo.
Yep.
Um, okay, so then these are the two different clearances. Then we'd have to right click on each associations. There's 334 personnel that have this one. So if I double click it, I get this list. Um, so this clearance was called 24/7 monthly Parkers.
Yeah.
So this would be
Yeah, but isn't that the one oh wait, so this is generating a report for people that have fourth floor south stairwell access and
no, this particular clearance called 24/7 monthly Parkers also has this door in it. So
oh it has the fourth floor stairwell also?
yep.
Oh shit.
So if that's a problem,
Yes it is.
then we ought to take a look at that really quick. Let's do that. Let's go personnel clearance and 24/7 monthly Parkers. Look at the doors. Oh, wait a minute. Well, how come that came up? That's weird. It doesn't have those doors, but it came up when I did the report. Hang on, that's goofy. What's going on here? Oh, no, I switched. I came up here to do a different door as an example.
No, yeah, yeah, that's what I was telling you. I was like, is that what that? I was like, I thought this was the one that because you clicked on the 24/7 monthly partners.
Yeah, I was just trying to find a door that had more than one clearance just so I could talk about that. I got off track.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying though. So it would be like 24/7 building access, which would have access. It would have the clearance from the front door, the commons, the back door.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, these were the two clearances that had that door, that parking door that I clicked.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so if you double click it, you get the two clearances, and then you can highlight each clearance, right click, and associations, and then that shows you there's 227 people that had this clearance. So then I end up with two different lists, kind of. I'm going to back up to here. Oops. And right click associations. Double click that one. So now I have kind of two lists. If I had XL on here, I would just basically export both of these so that they were both a spreadsheet. And then you open the spreadsheet and you can highlight all the data in one and right click and copy, and then go into the other spreadsheet, get down to the bottom of the list, right click and paste all that data into just one sheet, so then you can send them one
Gotcha.
spreadsheet.
Now now I wanted to ask. Now, are we able to generate a report also that would tell us what time people scanned into those doors and all of that?
Yeah, same thing basically. if we wanted to see just this particular door, and we can build more complex reports that include multiple doors. But for just the quickest, easiest way to do it for one door, if you highlight the door and you right click and you do find in journal, there's two different um, databases that hold historical information. The journal holds basically everything that pops up in the monitoring scroll, is what the journal is. And then you also have an audit log, and the audit log is everything that users do. Like if you went in and did a manual action to unlock the door, or if you went in to edit the door to change it somehow, it keeps track of that type of thing in the audit log. But activity, historical activity, goes in the journal. So we're going to do find in journal, and by default it's just set for last 7 days, but we can go back 30 days, 12 months,
Ah, okay.
last 6 hours, last 12 hours. And then we can also do a custom range. If like there is a specific day they need to know something happened on a certain day, and they want to know, okay, who all came in through this door on that day through this time range, we can come here and do a custom range, and then set start and stop dates and time. So, but for now, I'm just going to go back to in range. Let's just do last 7 days and run it. And it's thinking about it. Okay. So maybe nobody used that door in the last 7 days. Let's do a door that's going to have more history. Okay, there we go. So this little dynamic view that pops up here, there's a number of buttons here. There's the export button, so we can export this to a spreadsheet and then send it to somebody. But there's a few things we can do before we export it that might be handy. Um, we've got message type. We can sort it by the message type, so we can see there was just a handful of rejects in the last 7 days. Um, we can sort it by time if we want it to be chronological. We could sort it by name. Um, there's a few objects that get stored in the journal, like let's see, object one is the person part of it. Object two, let's see, object two is the door. Um, object three is probably like the time. Oh, nothing's getting stored in object three or four for this particular report. But so we don't want those ones. Let me turn those off. But this is kind of handy. So if I sort it by name, you can see like this guy had 4 card reads. This guy had 2. There's another little tool here that's pretty handy. There's a line here. It says drag columns to group by here. So I can group this, so I can kind of get a quick and easy representation of how many times individuals read a card. So if I grab this column and I drag it and I just drop it in this line here, it's going to group them by that column. Um, so now I can see I have 4 card reads from Juan Alvarez. I had 2 card reads from David Appel, 2 from Michael Bailey, and I can expand these to see the reads. Um, but this little drag to group by guy is pretty handy for looking at some of these reports. And if you group them like this and then export them, then they'll be in the same type of grouping in the Excel spreadsheet.
Gotcha.
And if you change your mind, if this doesn't give you the results you're wanting to see, you can grab this column header and drag it out of there and just drop it, and the report goes back to how it was.
Okay.
So This little view is pretty handy for manipulating the data. You can either sort, like I said, sort it in a certain way how you want it. Um, you can group it by using that group thing, and then you can also filter the data too. Like you said, okay, well I only really care about that Alvarez guy, so I can turn on this filter, and that makes this line appear here. And then each one of these boxes at the top of the column, you can filter the column by just typing. And you can,
type in the name or okay.
yeah, and you can edit how the filter works as well. Like it's just by default set for contains. So whatever I type, if the line contains what I've typed, it stays. Or I can kind of change how these filters work. Like does not contain. Show me everybody whose name doesn't start with an A or something like that.
Yeah.
It comes in handy. Um, and so that's history reports. That's on individual doors. Like if I only care about the south gate, right click, find in journal, and then specify a range. But if you needed to run a report on multiple doors, there's other ways to get at this data. If I go up here to options and tools, I can go to this journal icon, and this kind of gives me an open-ended query box here that I can manipulate a little bit. So let's say we want to run a report on multiple doors. So let's go to the objects here, and by default it's set to in list. So I can generate a list of objects to run this report on. I'm going to click over here in the ignored section, and it's going to change, give me these little triple dots. So I'm going to hit that. It's going to pop open another box. This gets a little weird. It's kind of nested here. We get another line with triple dots, so we got to hit that again. And then we get another box with another line with triple dots, and we hit that again, and then we finally get to a list of all the different objects we can select. So I'm looking for iStar doors. I could scroll down through this giant list and find it, but I'm just going to put my cursor here and use the filter and just start typing iStar and space door. Okay, there it is. iStar door. So here's all your doors. So maybe I care about all the stairwells. Plus these two. Okay, so now I gotta back my way out all these windows. I gotta hit OK again. Okay, so now I have my list of doors, and let's say I want for the last 30 days. And run. Okay, so right off the bat, top right here, I can see there's 168 transactions that it found. I'm going to sort it by message type here. Okay, so this is also giving me messages that when the door locked and unlocked, I think. It's just showing locked, actually. Object change state.
Yeah. So it's showing you when it logged after that person scanned it.
Gotcha, maybe that's what it is. Or, well, this is for the last 30 days. Okay, so this is all the doors I selected. It's showing each day when the doors are locking down. Lock at 9:20 a.m. That's kind of weird. And 3:32.
I'm assuming it's like they scanned, went in, and then the door closed.
Maybe. Huh. Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know. It seems a little weird. But at any rate, if I were to set it chronologically, yeah, I don't know why it's showing the door is locking at kind of random times throughout the day. That's weird. Object change state door is locked.
Like, or do you think that's when like people walk out of the stairwell?
maybe that could be. Maybe the Rex is tripping, and then when it relocks, it's showing it relocking in this report. It's weird. I'm not sure why that's showing up that way. But at any rate, what we mostly care about is the personnel transactions. Um, so we could filter out those lock ones if we wanted. Like I only care about stuff that has card in the name. So there, now we don't see those.
So now we see only the ones where they scan the card to go into the door. Okay.
Correct. Looks like we have a few card misreads here as well.
Gotcha.
Either somebody's got a card that doesn't have the right format, or maybe that reader's having a problem. Oh, there's you.
Yep.
Third and fourth floor. Okay. So again, one more time. Um, Options and tools, journal icon, and that kind of gives you this open-ended query box. You can also build this query for, like, say, individuals, um, but you can do that on people as well. Like, um, like if you care about, you need to find out what this guy's been up to. You can highlight just this individual and do find in journal last 7 days. Okay, he's only had 4 card reads in the last 7 days. Bike room, stairwell,
Gotcha.
bike room again. And let's say, well, you're pretty much the only one who gets in the system, right? So
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
if like somebody's card got edited, like removed their clearances or something, and you're like, well, I didn't do that. Who did that? You can always right click an individual and do the audit log, which again, remember, holds like stuff where users changed things in the system. Um,
Gotcha. So, like, if I were to go in and take access off of somebody's name, off of a person, it would show right there that I did it.
Correct. No,
Yeah, because that's usually what I do. Like when people leave, I don't delete the person. I just take access off of the card.
gotcha.
Yeah, because I've noticed that when I delete people and then I try to re-enter that same card, reuse that card number, it won't let me come back in.
Really.
Yeah, it'll say like CUIDD or something like that.
Chewed, yeah. Um, Chewed, that stands for cardholder unique identifier. And when you enter a badge, like let's look at this guy. His badge is 13589. His Chewed is also 13589. So you can modify how the Chewed gets created, but by default it just goes off your card number. So
Gotcha.
if you're trying to enter a card that already exists, it'll give you an error saying, hey, that Chewed is not unique. Um, so the best thing to do, like if you punch in a card number and it gives you that error, but you don't know who has that card, you can look that card up. So 13589. So,
Yeah, that's usually how I do it. Because, like, whenever I get a new card number or
mhm,
something like that, I'll go to, um, I go to personnel, advanced, and then I do a card number search.
there you go. Yeah, then you can see who actually has that badge. So if I delete a credential from a person, then it should become available. So if I came in here and I removed this card from this guy and then saved it, then that card number would be available then to give to somebody else.
Gotcha, yeah. See, I was deleting the entire person, so I would just right click on that person
Mm-hmm.
and then
Delete.
delete. And if I did, yeah, whenever I do that, that was like when I first started getting familiar with the system, and I noticed it did that. So now that's what I do. I delete the card number,
Got,
or I'll just erase the. I'll take the access away.
gotcha. Deleting the whole personnel record from here should delete the badge as well. Um, but anyways,
Yeah.
Cool. So what else? Any other questions about the system?
No, I think those are pretty much the only two types of reports that I think we generally need is who has access for what doors and the reports for how they what time anybody came in to do specific doors.
Okay, so just to test your knowledge here, why don't you let's do what was the first one? Let's find out who has access to a certain door. Like I want to know who has access to the bike room.
All right. So you want configuration, right?
Actually, I started with the door, and we still have the door tab open. But just to
Oh, up here.
refresh your memory, to you go to hardware, and then
You want to know who has access to the
the
bike
bike
room,
room.
right?
Yeah,
So I go there, view, association.
and there's one clearance that has it. So we double click that clearance. Let's see what it is. And now let's highlight it and right click it. And associations. And 284 people have it. So if you double click on that line where the 284 is, then we get to see the list.
Okay. And then this is what I could export if that's what they were asking.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. So we got that one.
So now I want to know who all used the bike room yesterday. So you've
Yeah.
got,
Was that one under personnel?
well,
No.
actually, you've got the bike room right there. So just right click it and do a
Oh
find
yeah.
in journal
Find in journal.
and see if you can do yesterday, last 24 hours, or yesterday works. Yep.
Yeah. Let's run.
There we go. 37 people used the bike room yesterday.
Okay.
Do you guys put any information on the personnel, like company?
Yeah. So I go to customer and then and I usually put who the tenant is, who requested the card, and then their card number down at the bottom.
Okay. Um, so, text one. Okay, yeah, you could. You can filter these lists by the text one to display just a list of people in a company. I'm trying to remember. I don't think we'll be able to use the company in this actually. Yeah, it doesn't save that part. Object 4. No, okay, never mind. I was thinking we could also display their company.
Also display like a no sweet word zero.
Yeah.
All right. So then, how did you do the multiple doors? That was the one in Find Your Journal, also, right? The one that'll give me the times and dates.
So if I want to do multiple doors, then I need to build a query. And the easiest way to do that is from options and tools, and then this journal icon here. And so that kind of gives me this open-ended query here. And
Gotcha.
so if I need to do multiple doors, then I can come in here and specify that through objects. And I'm gonna click here. I got to drill my way in. I got to hit these triple dots a couple of times until I get to my list of objects. And then I want to do iStart door.
Because iStar door is just the doors that we have on this Ccure system, right?
Yeah, you have iStar panels at this site. And
Gotcha. Okay. So I have to type in iStar doors. Okay.
you could do, I think you can get the same results by just looking for plain door. Let's see, door. See, there's
Oh
other
yeah,
other
iStar
types
door.
of panels, but there's just plain door, and I get them as well. So you could
Okay.
do iStar or just plain door.
All right. So here, let me run. Let me run through that one. Walk me through it.
Yeah, let's start from scratch. We'll let you do it. Okay.
All right. So let's say I was on search number query. So we go to options and tools,
Mm-hmm.
journal,
Yep.
go in here, 3
what type of an object you're looking for. There's iStar door.
All right.
You pick the
So let's say
doors
I
you
want it
care.
to be men's shower, women's shower. Then we click OK.
Yep.
Click
And
OK.
then OK again. Little top left of that little box is another OK. And then you can specify the range you want, set for last hour, maybe do yesterday or last week or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let's just do. I just want to see. So we'll do.
So these, now
Oh
that,
no, not next 7 days.
yeah, I don't know why they put those next ones in there. You're not going to be able
Okay.
to
So
project.
last 7 days and then run, right?
Yep,
Bam, and then it gives me all that. Okay. All right.
you could
Getting
sort.
somewhere, Chris.
Yeah,
A little bit of like a wizard like you, man.
yeah. So let's. I want to see history on this lady here, this Catherine Lane. Show me what her activity for the last 12 months. Just gotta think about that one for a little while.
Yeah, because I this key card,
Oh,
I just put it in yesterday.
okay. So it hasn't been used. So,
Hasn't been used, but that did I do it right? That's how you
yep,
do it, right?
yep. So no results.
So let's go to. How do I get to?
You just want to list all people.
Yeah, how do I get back to that?
Just hit the green arrow up top,
Where?
and that should list
Oh, here.
everybody. There
Okay.
we go.
So let's say you want to see Kevin over here. So you go find a journal. Possible months.
Didn't use very much. Bike room a few times.
Yeah. 2025, a couple times 2026. All right. That's good. So for doors again.
Individual doors. You can highlight and find in journal.
What was that?
For individual doors, you can highlight and do find. Right click and do find in journal. And get history that way.
Um,
And if you're worried about who has access to what, you can right click and do associations. And then you get your list of clearances, and then you have to check the associations on each clearance. So okay, yeah, that one has three. So you'd have to highlight, right click, and view and associations for each one of those to get the list of who has each one of those clearances
association. So we got 227
that have
for
the
zero,
zero. Yeah,
27 for
auditorium,
auditorium, and then we have 312 for
24/7 building
24/7.
access.
All right. And then with these, to do it, to run it, I would have to do each one individually, right?
Yeah, so if you double click on one of them personnel counts,
Yeah.
yeah, if you had Excel on this computer, you could export them to Excel and then open them up on this computer and then just highlight all the data from one spreadsheet and paste it into another and just combine them all into one spreadsheet. So then it would just be one email to send to whoever.
Gotcha. All right.
Making
Yeah,
sense?
we have to do that Excel because I don't want to be using my personal email for work.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool, cool. Any other questions?
Um,
Concerns?
trying to think if there's anything else while I got you here.
Like, you remember how to
Um,
schedule things and change schedules if you need to, or
yeah, yeah. Let's run that. And this is all being recorded, right, on here.
yep, yep, we got a recording going here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's. How would we? I want to know how we can take like a reader off of something. Like for example, if I don't want the commons to have 24/7 access, because right now if I give somebody 24/7 access, they can access the monkey barrel room,
So you're saying if you give somebody this 24/7 building access,
Yep, they'll have access to the commons and the auditorium room.
okay, what's the common? Is there a reader called Commons or something?
There's a I think it's called the auditorium.
Oh, okay, auditorium.
Yeah. So there's commons and auditorium.
Gotcha. Hmm. So okay, parking the building. We got an auditorium reader, but is it just called something different? Southgate maybe?
Oh, it's uh, interior amenity door, exterior amenity door.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So if you wanted to build like a different clearance that didn't give one of those doors,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So if you wanted to build a different clearance, if you go, you have personnel selected lower left, and then clearance from the pull down list, top right here or top left here. Um, Hitting the green arrow displays all the existing clearances, but if you want to make a new one, you just hit the new button, and you just got to give it a name. What would you call this clearance? I guess. Um,
And this would be for just so that they have access to all the other doors, but not the common. So I guess my question was, how do we take the interior amenity door, exterior amenity door, and the auditorium off of that 24/7 building access?
okay, if we wanted to take that off of there,
Yeah.
so this is the clearance. And you double click it, you go to doors, and this shows you all the doors that are in the clearance. So
Okay.
if you wanted to remove both of these, you could just highlight them and hit remove right here.
Oh, god damn, that's so easy. Yeah. Well, shit. Let's remove the auditorium too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it should be exterior south stairwell. Yeah, that one's fine. South gate is fine.
Is that one okay?
Yeah, first floor stairwell. That's
Okay.
fine. And it's lobby door. Yeah.
That's all they need for building access.
Yeah. All right. So let's say I wanted to create one. So let's just say I want somebody to have access to all of the stairwells.
Okay, so you give it a name, and then you come in here and you hit add, and then you just select whatever doors you want to be a part of it, and then you hit OK, and then it's going to ask you, okay, these doors with what schedule? Like if you only wanted these people to have this access like 8 to 5, you could create an 8 to 5 schedule to assign with it as well.
Okay.
But if you do always, the good thing about the always schedule is that it's immune to holidays. So I don't know if you guys have set up and are using holidays in the system. Probably not. Um,
We do have schedules for. Well, actually, no, we don't. Yeah. So that works. That's perfectly fine.
okay, so that's not a factor. But if you had holidays set up in the system, which you don't, um, I could go down a long rabbit hole here talking about how holidays work. So I don't want to muddy the waters. But
Yeah.
the always schedule is immune to it. So even if a holiday occurred, this access would still work. Where
Yeah. I gotcha.
if you created a schedule, if you didn't modify it correctly, it may not work on a holiday.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, all
All
right.
right. And how do we create? Yeah, we don't have to save that one.
Okay.
Um, and then how would we create schedules?
Okay, schedules, that's under configuration and schedule. And so if we hit the green arrow, that lists what you already have. And if we wanted to, like, say, look at the WeWork schedule, all it is a name and then a set of hours.
Yeah.
If we were going to create a new one, hit new, give it a name, like maybe break room access schedule from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. or something crazy like that
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
needed that. So then you select what days, Monday through Friday, and you set that time 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And let's say maybe 8 to 12 on Saturday. So then we go add another segment. We select
Oh,
Saturday,
okay. Yeah.
and then we go 8 to 12.
And when we create the schedule, essentially, it would automatically go to the bike room.
No, this is just a set of hours right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and save it. Hit refresh. So now this is a usable schedule. It's just called bike room access. Excuse me. So then an available schedule. It's not being used for anything right now. If I right click and go to associations, there's nothing associated with it because we just created it. But if I came in here and I wanted to create a new clearance and call this limited bike room access, and I put the bike room in here as the door. Now, when I hit OK and I get my list of available schedules, I now have this bike room access schedule available.
Aha, I see what you're saying now.
So
Okay.
now, anybody who you give this clearance, their card's only going to work during those times we set up in that schedule.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
And then to delete a schedule, obviously, is just
right click and delete,
right click and delete.
just like
Okay.
that.
All right.
Easy enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
Okay, so let's say,
let's say you wanted to set up like an event to unlock a door with a schedule. You want to go through all that?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because a lot of the times we have, like when somebody rents or books the auditorium or the commons, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be they'll say, oh, what time do you guys want it from? Oh, we're gonna be in there from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
And sometimes I won't be here that early. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I won't be able to unlock it because usually I go into the door, I click manually unlock,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll set the time from when to for it to unlock.
And that
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
and that works perfectly fine as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the best way to do it for one-offs like that. Like, okay, we got to unlock this door for this tenant at this day for these hours. That's probably the best way to do it. But
Okay.
if some policy change comes around and you say, all right, we want the auditorium unlocked every day, well, every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we want that to occur every week, every Wednesday. So that would be a good candidate for creating an event with a schedule. So let's go through that process.
Okay.
So let's create the schedule first, and we'll go new schedule. This will be the auditorium. Oops. Auditorium. Why my spelling just flew out of my head.
Oh, you're good. It doesn't matter. You can spell it wrong if you want. Or you can just
Auditorium.
type in comments if you
Unlock.
want.
Unlock event. Or no, schedule. Schedule. Okay. And then we said Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay. So that's just Wednesday, 1 to 3. We have our schedule. So now we want an event that unlocks that door, and we want it to happen on that schedule. So events are also under configuration. We change our pull down list then to event. And we're going to let's go ahead and just list what we got here. And we're going to do a new one. We'll call this the auditorium unlock event. Now, for an event to work, it has to be enabled and it also has to be armed. So you got to check both of those boxes.
Okay.
You're probably never going to have to worry about priority, so just leave all this other stuff default.
Okay.
Um, and so now we want this event to activate on our schedule. So in the scheduling box here, we're going to do activate on schedule and we're going to point it at the schedule we just created, auditorium unlock schedule.
Gotcha.
And so now this event's going to activate every Wednesday between 1 and 3 p.m.
Okay.
And so now we want to tell it, um, there's a few checkboxes here we might do. This is saying that when this occurs, it's going to pop up in the monitoring scroll here. That's fine. We want that probably. Um, and then we might as well have this record in the
Monitoring station. Yeah.
in, or yeah, it's going to the journal, so it's being recorded in the journal. But then this means it'll show up in the monitoring station. So we might as well check that box. Action. This is where we tell the event what it's doing. So on the action tab, we're going to add an action, and there's lots of things events can do. So rather than scroll through this whole list, I'm just going to hit U, and that's going to jump me to where the U's are on this alphabetical list. And there is unlock door.
Okay.
So as soon as you change the action, it might change what you have down here. And all we can do for unlock door is specify a door. So we're going to hit the little triple dots here, and that's going to give our door list. We're going to select auditorium, and then we're basically done. We're going to save this.
Okay.
Since it's not Wednesday between 1 and 3, it's not going to unlock the door. But we now have our auditorium unlock event, and it's
Gotcha.
triggering off of our auditorium unlock schedule.
Oh.
And the
Alrighty.
action is just to unlock that door. So that's it. Now that this is in here, if we left this next Wednesday at 1 p.m., the auditorium would unlock, and then it would relock at 3 p.m.
Gotcha.
When the schedule ended. Make
All right.
sense?
Yep. 100%.
So these events do a lot of stuff, and like I doubt we have email set up on here. We don't. If you had email set up, you could have events send emails. If we were integrated with your video system, which I think we might be. Let's see. I think I tried to set this up originally, but I don't remember if it's okay. Maybe the IP address changed, or maybe we're not on the same network.
Yeah. It's probably a different one.
But you could have, like, say, a door held open event on the stairwell, pop up a camera, or have it send an email if the door is propped open, stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
it's all driven through events. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, I could talk about that for quite a while. But
Yeah, man. You gave me a load of it. I'm so glad you're able to like screen record,
yeah,
and
I'll.
your voice will be coaching me through it.
Yep. If this video gets too long, it's going to be hard for you to find stuff. So maybe we ought
No,
to.
it's all right. Yeah, we could end it there if you like. That's perfectly fine. That gives me a bunch of info on stuff that I had questions about, which is perfect.
Cool. All right. And let's. Any other questions before we call it? Anything else you'd like to see? You could think of?
No, nothing that I could think of.
Okay.
Like for the building, nothing that I could think of that.
You've got the basics. You know how to manually lock and unlock doors.
Yep.
Now you know how to set an event with a schedule to unlock a
Yep.
door if you needed to do that. You got the reporting down to individual doors or individual people.
And
Uh,
multiple doors and all that. Yep.
yeah. So okay, cool. Yeah, let's just go ahead and